सार्थकमानि गौरप्रिय शकसेवने जीवन सार्थकमानि भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाय जा अनुकूल पाय जा प्रतिदिपाशे परम सुखे प्रतिदिपाशे परम सुखे स्वीकार कोरियता स्वीकार कोरियता शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजनानु भगत सेवा परम सीति प्रेमलती करमूलम भगत सेवा परम सीति प्रेमलती करमूलम शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन आनु Translation: The dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees, enthusiastic devotional service and service to the pure devotees of the highest order are the roots of the creeper of devotion. The holy days like Ekadashi, Janmashtami are mother of devotion for those devotees who respect them. Let the holy places of Krishna's pastimes be my places of worship and blessing. May I always visit all the holy places associated with the Leela of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. When I hear the sound of the mridanga in my heart, and I always desire to join in kirtana. And when I hear the bona fide songs describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, my heart dances in ecstasy. Whenever I see the transcendental Sri Vigrahas of Sri Radha Krishna, I am in bliss for by taking their lordship's prasada, we can conquer over the material elements. One day, while performing devotional practices, I saw my house transform into Goloka Vrindavan. When I take the Charnamrit of the deity, I see the holy Ganges waters that come from the feet of Lord Vishnu, and my bliss knows no bounds. By seeing the Tulsi tree, my heart feels joy, and Lord Madhava is also satisfied. When I eat the prasad favored by Lord Chaitanya, it is a new life's experience. Lord Chaitanya was very fond of green vegetables preparation called shak. And there is another song like Shaka. Bhakti Vinoda concludes by saying, whoever attains the stage of enthusiasm for these devotional practices will supremely blissfully, wherever he be, he will be supremely blissful. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the service.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for the nice kirtan of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I welcome all the devotees to today's session. Today we will be learning from lesson 98. But before that, let me offer the prayers, starting from Guru Pranam. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं त्वजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जयतां सुरतो पुंगर्मो मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्गस्व पदाम्बुज राधा मदन मोहन दिव्यात् बृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद् रत्नांगर सिंहासन स्थितो श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवो पृष्ठालिपि सेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशीवटतटस्थित दर्शनवेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. Now we will offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahapadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauroti Se Namaha. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Chasa Krishnam Sangopanga Parsadam Yagya Sankirtanam Praya Rijayanti Sumedasaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharana Nipuna Sadharma Samstapako लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मान्य शरण्य करो राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिको वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्री जीव गोपाल तो. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskutya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With this, I welcome all the devotees once again to the today's session. We will be learning about what is given in lesson 98. But before that, let us recap lesson 97, which was covered yesterday.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, yesterday we did chapter 60, part of chapter 60. Chapter 60 consists of 59 verses, out of which 33 verses were covered yesterday. So, two themes were covered. We see that Lord Krishna shows his divine Leela in his interaction, in his sweet interaction with his Queen Rukmini. And what was his intention for doing so? He is teasing Rukmini. And why is he doing that? So that was covered in theme 1. And then Rukmini's reaction to that, we will see in detail. How did she react? What was the misunderstanding? And what was the outcome of that? So let us proceed. Now, the background is that in a very beautiful palace, which is adorned with jewels and uh, uh, precious stones and fragrances. There is a very they are showing a very romantic environment, that is the background. And in this beautiful environment, in this beautiful place, Lord Krishna is with his principal queen Rukmini, and he is having an interaction with Rukmini. Now, what is the how is how do we comprehend what kind of interaction is this, and how do we comprehend this sweet interaction between Lord Krishna and Rukmini? Lord Krishna is teasing her. Anybody would like to describe that? What kind of interaction is that?
Hey,
You will
Krishna,
find my answers well. Yes,
yeah.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
So I'll just paraphrase a little bit of differently, but same thing. So as one day Krishna was sitting, Rukmini was offering a fan, and Krishna wants to have a conversation. So he wants to see the best of Rukmini, and he says, start saying, how superior she is there and how inferior he is there. That is where all began. And this also brings basically best out of the purpose was to bring best out of Rukmini. So for that, this is the interaction. How he instigates rather to have a play in which best of her love for Krishna will come out. That's basically, again, then details are given here. It also talks about interaction of Rukmini, exemplifying dynamic and intermittent nature of divine. How he reacts, he says something, how Rukmini, with her humility, with her love, how she reacts. She was not angry, she was not everything. How the love prevails with that, and how she connects more and more deeper connection. So that is what is shown here. That's how I could see
Right.
that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
nicely put. So basically, it's a very sweet conversation which Krishna deliberately has to uh, highlight the noble qualities of Rukmini. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So, what does then this nature or this uh, Rukmini's character is being compared to the fragrance of camphor? What does that symbolize? Here in this portion, if anybody wants to answer. Hare Krishna. No one? It symbolizes that even Krishna is using provocative words to pro provoke her, but the fragrance of camphor, her nature is compared, her character is compared to the fragrance of camphor to show her chaste nature, to show Rukmini's chaste nature. So the metaphor is given of camphor's fragrance over here. My third question is, describe Rukmini's service to Lord Krishna. What kind of service is she offering to Lord Krishna? How is Rukmini serving Lord Krishna? Is anyone? Raksha Mataji, Rajkumari Mataji. I have highlighted the portion wherein you can see an answer. Am I audible? Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you are audible. So I
Yes,
will go ahead.
Mataji.
No, anybody wants to go ahead?
Yes, anyone, anyone. Whoever
Okay,
wants
I'll
to.
just start. Yeah, I will just start. So, as picture shows here, I know Charu Prabhuji, from where he gets such a beautiful picture. Such a nice Lord is sitting, and Rukmini is using as a chamar, and giving him, doing the service, and the details are given. The beautiful palace, the chamar is, with jewels, and there is a fragrance, as you mentioned right in the beginning, provides a backdrop of meaningful exchanges. So when the Lord is there, when the Lord does pastime, he does perfectly. He is actor, he's a director, he does everything so nicely, so we remember everything. So this is what is there. So give the place, give the paraphernalia available there, and gives the how Rukmini is standing and doing the chamar just to give the air to Lord. That was there, and a nice setting.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, further to your answer, she is serving him with lot of attentiveness, full with full mindfulness, and which is showing her deep devotion towards the Lord. And also in the presence of Lord Krishna, her her beauty, she's already so beautiful. Her beauty is uh, further being radiant just because of the presence of the Lord. So this is how she is serving Lord Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. What does this divine Leela illustrate? Like, this is a divine play. Leela is going on. What does this illustrate? What does this Leela convey? It shows that whatever is happening in the universe is all a part of like it has all been orchestrated by Lord. Yeah. So this is what it conveys. Then how does Lord Krishna interacts with his devotees? Here in this portion. Yes,
With
Raksha Mataji, you were quiet today. Yes, Rajkumari Mataji, go ahead.
Krishna deals with his devotees with love and affection.
Correct.
And,
Yes. Yes, Mataji. You would want to elaborate on that, Mataji?
uh, is, this shows there is a great relationship between the divine and the devotees.
Yeah.
The devotees selfless love, and divine is already ready to to save them from every problems. Is protector. Krishna is always protector of their devotees.
Correct. But he is here. His how is he interacting? He is reciprocating in a very interactive way. He is not just like a murti in front of them. He is interacting. He's doing exchanges, loving exchanges. He's playing with the devotees to show that the love enhances and becomes deeper with mutual affection. And this teasing also is increasing
Play,
the bond between the Bhakta and the Bhagwan. Yes,
playful
thank you, Mataji.
teasing.
Yes. So going ahead, how is Rukmani's love for the Lord? How is Rukmani's love for the Lord?
Rukmani is very much devoted to Krishna.
Correct. Her love is, she has a
Yeah.
steadfast commitment. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Radhavanath.
again, yeah, it's a very nice. I think Sharad Roja explained very nicely. So even though she was provoked, she didn't leave her position as a servant, right? So we see that, and again, the inference here is that is in the love is the real true love is a resilient also because of the
Correct.
relation understanding between the Lord and the devotee. Even if some ups and downs are there, there's an understanding. And
Correct.
that ups and downs are meant for enrich that their relation and not to get disturbed with mundane thing that we see outside.
Perfect. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Very nicely answered. Let's go ahead to the next slide. So here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, we can see what do we learn from Lord Krishna's and Rukmani's, although contrasting backgrounds. They have a contrast background. What do we learn from that? I've highlighted the answer in this portion.
The spiritual qualities are very different from material, and they outweigh the material circumstance. In no in no possible situation can the spiritual quality be lost. They are always the upper, and they
Yeah.
transcend and surpass.
Correct. Thank you, Prabhu. Very rightly answered. Then what does the dynamics between Lord Krishna and Rukmani illustrate? Yeah.
Humility
Correct.
and
Yes, Mataji.
a spiritual relationship.
Yeah. So
And deep
it,
love, deep respect, love.
yeah. So what you're saying is, wherever there is deep love, there is no place for ego. So hence humility plays a very important role. It is a very essential element in spiritual relationship. Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, devotee always remembers Lord is the supreme. He is the enjoyer. He is the controller. He is the owner. He knows the devotee at any stage. He never forgets that. So even though Lords try to put him, tries a different way to, he tried to equate. In this case, he was saying that Krishna was telling that, you are superior, birth in a superior, king's
Correct.
family, rich, and you had all the options, but I'm just nothing, in front of you. But he is a spiritual, right? So that is the thread which is brought up so nicely with this Leela.
Yes, Prabhuji. And a very important point
Even
of this particular. Yes, Prabhuji.
yeah,
Sanjeev.
also Prabhuji said yesterday that humility does not necessarily being weak or coward.
Yeah.
If our guru or parampara or devotee or Lord is insulted, then we have to uphold our
Yeah.
the
We have to
dignity.
practice it with a lot of self-respect. Correct, Prabhuji. Yes, you're right. Then very important part of this particular slide, what is Lord Krishna testing by teasing Rukmani? What was his intention by doing this? It is covered over here.
We wanted to see her angry. That was the main goal.
Yeah. And the intention behind this action was?
Playful way, not teasing, not to
Yeah.
not to give hurt her feelings.
Yeah. He was testing her devotion
Testing,
by
yes,
doing so.
importantly. He was testing her.
Correct. And this actually reminds us that true love is not superficial at all, and it can withstand any adversities. And it strengthens the relationship between Bhakta and Bhagwan. This is an important point of this particular slide. So we go ahead to next slide. Now, here Prabhuji has given some philosophical insights into this of this Leela. So now here there is a philosophy of detachment that has been explained. What is this philosophy of detachment? Sharad Prabhuji explained very nicely yesterday this point. If you can highlight, anybody can highlight on Vairagya, the principle of detachment.
So what Prabhuji, yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
True. Yes, go on, Prabhuji.
Yes, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Okay, I will tell something, and Rajkumari Mataji, you also then add.
Yeah,
What
sure. Both of you can.
Sir Prabhuji added yesterday was like detachment doesn't mean that we what was the word I'm trying to that
Reject or ignore.
we neglect or ignore our duties. We have to do our duties, but we should not be attached to the results. That's one aspect. The other aspect is if the family member or friend, they are supportive in Krishna conscious, then that is welcome. If not, then that's where we can detach with them.
Yeah,
That's what I recommend.
correct. Yes, Rajkumari Mataji, you wanted to add further.
It highlights that true happiness lies in beyond worldly attachment. It is only with the spiritual relation, and whatever whatever happiness one can get cannot get from the material and the earthly things.
Yeah. So one has
Also,
to. Yes, Prabhuji.
yeah, it's important is the priorities. What
Hmm.
priorities we set is a material. Like we saw again and again, gopis also, they knew, material religion or whatever is there, but their priorities were set that we are the eternal servant of Krishna. So with that understanding, they all, in all situation, they viewed or reevaluated. It's a beautiful word used here, reevaluate, right? So your priority and act accordingly. So that is called a detachment, basically. It's not
Correct.
reject, outright reject, right? So have your higher priorities. And as Prabhuji also said that, yes, in the verse, Sharad Prabhuji also mentioned, suppose situation comes to decide what to do. So at that time, he said you can also detach them or you can reject if that becomes obstacle.
Yes.
Mm.
Correct. So everybody's so nicely put in. Basically, we have to serve everyone, our whole family and people who are surrounding us, with the intention that we are doing service to the Lord, and without having any personal motive. But inside, the love for the Lord uh, there. Inside, one should be always be attached only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead while serving others in the society. And then Prabhuji also mentioned about karma, vikarma, akarma. So very nicely he explained that from the Bhagavad Gita. So now here, after seeing the philosophy of detachment, we have to here Lord Krishna's role is described. How is Lord Krishna? What is his role? Uh, what is his position in this universe and beyond this? Here they have mentioned it very nicely. Anybody can explain this?
Krishna is protector and maintainer of dharma. Always.
Correct. Yeah. So his actions will always emphasize, he will always act as per dharma, and he protects the cosmic order. So he is dharma stapnaya. He will establish, he reinforces dharma whenever it is challenged or it is collapsed in
He
the world.
brings harmony and balance in the universe.
Correct, Mataji. So let's go ahead to the next slide. So now here, Krishna is, we saw like three important questions Prabhuji has given here. So what we did not see is Krishna is teasing Rukmani. But what did he say that she got provoked? How did she, what were the words that he used?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Mataji,
सॉरी
missed
मुझे
you.
नीचे जाना पड़ा, मेरे प्रभु जी नीचे बाहर गांव गए तो मुझे नीचे जाना पड़ा, तो आई हैव टू लेफ्ट फॉर सम टाइम, सॉरी फॉर
Okay,
दैट।
no problem, Mataji.
हाँ,
You would want to answer this question?
यस यस माता जी। हाँ, यहाँ पे मतलब भगवान ने उनको जोकिंगली एकदम टीज किया, क्योंकि वो सुनना चाहते थे उनके मुख से कि वो अगर गुस्सा करते तो कैसे लगते हैं। और कभी भी मतलब रुक्मणी जी कभी भी
पर
भगवान
क्या टीज किया? पर क्या टीज किया? ऐसा क्या बोला कि उनको
इतने इतने
बुरा लग
अच्छे
गया?
लग रहे थे, और मेरे से तो बहुत अच्छे अच्छे राजा थे, तो फिर आपने मुझे क्यों चूज किया? मैं
करेक्ट।
तो उनके सामने कुछ भी नहीं हूँ, वो तो बहुत ही बड़े बड़े राजा है, बहुत ही
हम्म।
उनके पास तो ऐश्वर्य भी है, मेरे पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है, फिर भी आपने मुझे क्यों चूज किया?
या so he is degrading himself in front of other kings. He's saying that, I am being worshipped by paupers and I ran away in fear of Jarasangha. Then why did you choose me? So these were the provocation that he used to make her, to see her reaction. So this was the question. Thank you, Mataji. And then how does Rukmani's devotion to Krishna, like it evolves throughout the relationship? How it transforms? The answer is over here. Anybody would like to explain it a little bit? The question is the same. It's meant.
मैं आए? हाँ।
Yes, Mataji.
ये सुन के मतलब रुक्मणी जी का स्वभाव बहुत ही सबमिसिव है पहले से, कंप्लीट सरेंडरेंस, और उनका प्राइड है, भगवान उनका प्राइड है। और उनके जब उन्होंने ये सुना कि ये ऐसा भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि आपने मुझे क्यों चुना, मेरे ये खुद को डिग्रेड कर रहे हैं, तभी उनको इतना हार्ट अंदर से, मतलब उनका इतना दुख लग गया, और वो इतने मतलब डीप वो फीलिंग, इतनी डीप फीलिंग आ गई, और तो वो एकदम मूर्छित हो गए कि ये वो सुन नहीं पाए कि भगवान उनके बारे में ऐसा बोल सके, क्योंकि वो उनके प्राइड थे भगवान में, उनका अभिमान थे कि मैं, तो भगवान अगर जब बोल रहे हैं कि मैं ऐसा हूँ, तो वो सुन नहीं पाए, और वो एकदम फेंट हो गए।
So, Mataji, the question is, how does her devotion evolve? That will come later. The reaction of Rukmini comes later. How does her devotion evolve when Lord is talking like that? That is the question. कि वो उनका जो डिवोशन है ना, वो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया. Like she was being challenged. So, although she was submissive, she could have just given in to Lord Krishna. But she rather, took that thing in her stride. And her devotion, instead of decreasing with Lord Krishna, it further increased. So that is how her devotion evolved. That was the question, Mataji.
Yeah, so she glorifies. Today's class will is full for that one. She glorifies, takes each and every word that Krishna want to degrade himself, right? So takes
Yeah.
it. So she is a reevaluating. Again, let's go back to the Charu Prabhu, that word reevaluating, and says that what you say is a true. So it's not that we are there, so I am not suitable. There's no compatibility between you and me, right? So
Yeah.
she is a glorifying the Lord through each and every words that Lord reacts. So in nutshell, that is how it is there, and that's how she is connecting. The Lord is always the supreme,
Yeah.
supreme, and that firm faith and belief is a very important, and that she is
Yeah.
showcasing throughout that.
Correct. Her commitment is not being disturbed.
Yes.
Her commitment is further getting stronger instead
Yes.
of Lord provoking him. Yes, so nicely put, Radhavina Prabhuji. And then like, this is an important point. Rukmini's perception of her royal status change when Lord Krishna is when she sees the perspective of Lord Krishna. What does she realize? On the same note, but the answer is little further to it.
Yeah,
It is
again,
on this.
yeah.
Yes.
So this is a very nice there, because that is where everything began. Krishna says, talking about your rich heritage and your opulence and your princely family. I'm being this coward boy and I ran away. I'm timid and all those things. So she's taking every word, and she knows who Krishna is. That material things are temporary; they are not anything. And
Correct.
Krishna's supremacy and the eternity, she is bringing up that. So yes, I may be born in this family, but you are not an ordinary person, right? She talks, you are creator, a lot of things she's saying that, right, on that also. So
Yeah.
that is bringing out of her from that. So material is nothing much. Material is just temporary, right? As we see that.
Superficial. Yeah.
Superficial, yes. So and gopis also did the same thing. They broke all the relation with everybody because those are temporary, where the relation with the Lord is eternal. So she's bringing that point again here. Material
Correct.
versus spiritual.
So her perception, yes, Prabhuji, you're so right. Her perception changes to realize that spiritual growth and devotion is the true fulfillment of life. Yes. So now let us go ahead. This is probably one of the last slides. What does this misunderstanding like then? There is a small misunderstanding that happens. Rukmani goes into an emotional turmoil. So this misunderstanding leads to what? What happens? Now, I think Raksha Mataji, you had answered this question before. So I'll just reiterate it. She becomes very sorrowful and she goes through a lot of fear and which leads her to collapse. So this is what happens when
मैंने वो सोचा कि अगर ये कह के भगवान मुझे छोड़ तो नहीं देंगे ना.
That was important.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
fear उस चीज का था. Correct, Mataji. Thank you for. Okay. Then how does Lord Krishna then reassure Rukmani of his love? तो वो तो कोलैप्स हो गए. फिर भगवान ने क्या किया? इधर है.
Krishna
Lord
reassures
heard and
Rukmani of his love.
Yes. How?
He reveals complex dynamics of their bond and showcasing the diverse ways love can be expressed.
Yeah. He tries to calm her down. He steps
उन्होंने
forward.
कठोर रूप धारण करा और
हाँ.
उन्होंने वो
Correct. Correct.
पोछा, फिर उनके बाल ठीक ठाक किए, फिर उनको थोड़े कूल डाउन किए और बोला कि मैंने ये सब जो बोला है वो जस्ट फॉर टीजिंग यू, मतलब मैंने सिर्फ आपके साथ मजाक मस्ती किया है, मगर मैंने
हाँ.
ऐसा रियल में कुछ नहीं है कि आप इतना डर जाओ.
Yeah. My intention was not to hurt you. Correct. So nicely you explained, Raksha Mataji. Thank you. Then third one, philosophically, what does Rukmani's inner turmoil illustrate? ये सब हो जाने के बाद में वो जो अंदर महसूस कर रहे थे उसका क्या मतलब है, वो क्या दिखाना चाह रहे थे? That sometimes even when there is true love, one becomes vulnerable to misunderstandings. So her inner turmoil was illustrating this particular point that प्यार होने के बावजूद भी one gets vulnerable. There are misunderstandings. One gives into misunderstandings. And then how is Satyabhama's expression of love different to that of Rukmani?
Rukmani is very submissive, very humble, while Satyabhama is very fierce nature.
Yeah. Satyabhama has got a very active and fierce, possessive nature. And she's also, as Prabhuji said, like she's also known as the warrior queen. And
Yes, Mataji.
Rukmani is more like very submissive, devoted, humble.
I think
And gives in.
yeah. So it is a grata sneha. That means like butter, like butter. She is a very cool nature, and whereas the Satyabhama is like a madhu. There, right? It's a fiery vamya. Sharu Prabhuji also
Yeah.
mentioned. But both pleases Lord. So it doesn't
Yeah.
make what is what, right? So the purpose of is one is a low and another is high. It's not like that, as we understand.
No.
Both purpose is to give more enrichment to the Lord, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the main thing. Yeah.
And also Prabhuji mentioned that Lord Krishna also reciprocates to both of them in their way, how they express themselves to him. He also expresses in the same way as they want. Then what is this journey? Like this journey of true love, what does this journey demonstrate? This is the concluding point of the, what does this demonstrate? Yeah, it's in simple words. Should I conclude? Anybody wants to answer?
It's more than an emotion. It
Correct.
involves understanding and forgiveness, even in the face of misinterpretation. Ultimately, the story celebrates deep emotional bonds, right? So
Yeah.
through our spiritual or even like, in material relation also, there is always transformation, and the
Yes.
tougher times give us better lessons. That's what we can say.
माता जी,
So
यहाँ पे एक
nice.
दूसरा अच्छा पॉइंट है कि स्पिरिचुअल लव जो है वो दिन ब दिन बढ़ता जाता है और
Correct.
मटेरियल जो लव है वो दिन ब दिन घटता जाता है.
माता जी मस्त आप एकदम से ही बता देती है, एसेंस ही बता देती है. सो नाइस. थैंक यू माता जी. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. So here we end this particular recap with the final 3 points, which is already been discussed. That what specific events led to Rukmani's initial misunderstanding that was seen ahead, and Satyabhama's comparison of Satyabhama's expression of love to Rukmani's, and in what ways Rukmani's emotional journey can be seen in broader themes in terms of love and relationships. So with this, we go ahead. We stop with the recap of this particular lesson that was done yesterday. And over to you, Prabhuji, for further.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. And
Thank
thank
you.
all the devotees for participating in the discussion. Now, in the last lesson, that is 97, we saw how Krishna provoked anger in Rukmini with his joking words. Now, in this chapter, that is 98, that is starting from the verses 34 to 48, in great humility, Rukmini presented her counter arguments. Now, Rukmini will be speaking. Earlier, Krishna was speaking. Now Rukmini will be answering to each and every point put forward by Krishna, and how she justifies for choosing Krishna as her husband. And verses 49 to 59, we'll see how Rukmini, engaging Rukmini in lover's talks, Krishna thus imitated the ways of human society. All the things we'll see in greater detail today. Then we go to the next slide. Now, the same statements by which Krishna previously denigrated himself and not equal to her, what he had said, he said, I am a coward boy. I used to go to the forest to tend the cows. Later on, when I started fighting with Jarasandha, I ran away from the battlefield. Like this, he denigrated himself in many places. Now, Rukmini now praises Krishna by giving an opposite meaning to Krishna's arguments. And as you know, Krishna always talks the double meaning words, the words which have double meanings. Now, one meaning was given by Krishna. Now, Rukmini will be giving another meaning. Her reasons why she married him. Then another point, very important point, extreme humility of Rukmini. Despite being the goddess of fortune, Mahamaya in her expansion, Rukmini exhibits great humility by identifying herself as a mundane woman and controlled by the modes, that is, modes of material nature. She emphasizes her longing to worship him and acknowledge her limitations while simultaneously conveying her wisdom and discernment, and in choosing Krishna and her husband. We'll see all these things in greater detail in various verses from 34 to 48. Now, acknowledgement of inferiority, we'll first see what is there in verse 34. Now, how can I be equal to you? Rukmini is saying, how can I be equal to you? and Rukmini is accepting that she is inferior to him, recognizing his supreme status. She is recognizing that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and Rukmini cannot equal him. And her humility does not negate her right to choose him, as she recognizes his divine nature, because she has recognized his divine nature. That's why she has chosen him as her husband. Now, actually, what happened? The verse says, what you have said is very, very true. But I am indeed unsuitable for the Almighty Supreme Personality of Godhead. What comparison is there between the Supreme Lord, who is the master of the three primal deities and who delights his own glory, and myself, a woman with mundane qualities and whose feet are grasped by fools? Like this, she wanted to tell Krishna. Now, on this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to say that Rukmini now praises Krishna by giving an opposite meaning to all those arguments which were earlier put forward by Krishna. First, Rukmini responds to Krishna's statement in what he had spoken in text 11. He said, why did you select me who is not equal to you? Now, Rukmini is saying that it is true that I can never be equal to you. You are the Supreme Lord endowed with the six opulences, and you are the controller of the three supreme deities, whereas I am a mundane woman controlled by the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. Therefore, I am vastly inferior to you. So how can I ever imagine to be equal to you? Although Rukmini is the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, due to her extreme humility, she is identifying herself with Krishna's external energy, which is in fact her own expansion. And on this, Sridhar Swami, he is listing the faults of Krishna had described in himself, that he claimed disqualified him from being Rukmini's husband. They include incompatibility, fearfulness, taking shelter in the ocean, quarreling with the powerful, abandoning his kingdom, uncertainty as to his identity, acting against ordinary standards of behavior, having no good qualities, being praised falsely by beggars, aloofness and lack of desire for family life. The Lord claimed that Rukmini has failed to recognize these bad qualities in him, and now she begins to respond to all the Lord's statements. First, she responds to Krishna's statement. He said, why did you select me? I am not comparable to you. Now, then we go to text 35. She clarifies that Krishna's fears, which he had said in the verse 12, are for his devotees, underscoring his protective nature. We'll study this. And this protection makes him an ideal husband as he cares for the spiritual welfare. Rukmini claims all his actions, Krishna's actions, are beyond human comprehension and societal norms. Now, Rukmini is trying to say that you lay down within the ocean as if with the material modes, and thus in pure consciousness you appear within the heart of the as the super soul of all beings, and you are always battling against the foolish material senses. And indeed, even your servants reject the privilege of royal domination, which leads to the blindness of ignorance. And what the acharyas say on this, they are saying Rukmini is trying to say that out of fear of the kings, Krishna said out in verse 12, out of fear of the kings, we took shelter. We means he and Balrama took shelter in the ocean. And here Rukmini points out that actual ruler of this world are the gunas, are the material modes of nature which impel all living beings to act. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he points out that because Lord Krishna fears that his devotee will come under the influence of the modes of nature and become entangled in sense gratification, he enters the internal ocean of their hearts, where he remains as the super soul. Thus, he protects his devotees. All this also indicates that the Lord is the object of meditation for his devotees. And in verse 12, Krishna is trying to say that we created enmity with the powerful. Here, Rukmini wants to say that the material senses, which are actually powerful in this world, they are with the jiva. And the Supreme Lord has taken up the battle against sense gratification on the part of devotees, and thus he is constantly trying to help them in their struggle for spiritual purity. And when the devotees become free of unwanted material habits, the Lord reveals himself to them. And then what happens? Then the eternal loving relationship between the Lord and his devotees, it comes into being. And also Krishna in that verse, that is verse 12, he said, we renounced the royal throne. But Rukmini tries to point out that the position of political supremacy in this world usually implicates so-called powerful leaders in darkness and blindness. That is total illusion. And as the saying goes, power corrupts. Thus, when the Lord's loving servants tend to shy away from political power and politics, that is the correct position. The Lord Himself, being completely satisfied in His own spiritual bliss, would hardly be interested in occupying mundane political positions. And thus, Rukmini is correctly interpreting the Lord's actions as evidence of His supreme transcendental nature. Then we go to the next. Now, Krishna is saying, out of fear of Jarasandha, we established Dwarka in the ocean, created enmity with the powerful, and renounced the royal throne. We have no material possessions. Marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of wealth, birth, influence, physical appearance, and capacity for good progeny, but never between superior and inferior. I am praised only by beggars. She will suffer by staying with him. This is, he said in verses 12 to 16. But to all these, what what Rukmini Devi is saying in verse 36, she aligns her choice with his transcendental purpose, elevating their relationship. Now let us try to understand what is given in this slide. Rukmini Devi is trying to say that your movements, even for sages who relish the honey of your lotus feet, are incomprehensible. Then what will it become for normal human beings like me? And just your activities are transcendental, so too are those of your followers. Now, to this, what the acharyas say, that here Rukmini is trying to answer what is given in the text 13 by the Krishna. What Krishna said, he said, women are usually destined to suffer when they stay with men whose behavior is uncertain. Like my behavior is very, very uncertain, who pursue a path not approved by the society. We have seen in very many places, it seems like Krishna is not following the rules of the society. And in the present verse, that is 36, Rukmini is trying to tell that those who are entangled in social world behavior are trying to enjoy this world more or less like animals. Even if such people are culturally advanced, they should simply be considered as sophisticated animals only. And Rukmini Devi is pointing out that because the Lord's activities are always transcendental, they they are unclear to the ordinary people, and even the sages trying to know the Lord cannot perfectly understand these activities. Then we go to verse 37. She refutes the idea that wealth dictates worship, citing Krishna as the true wealth. Now here what she is trying to say, Rukmini is saying, Krishna possesses nothing because there is nothing beyond him. Even the great enjoyers of tribute, that is Brahma and the other demigods, they pay tribute to Krishna. And those who are blinded by their wealth and absorbed in gratifying their senses do not recognize Krishna in the form of death. But to the gods, the enjoyers of tribute, they are most dear, and they are, and Krishna also, for him, they are most dear. That means they are most dear to each other. Now here Rukmini Devi is trying to answer what is given in verse 14 by Krishna. There, what Krishna said, Krishna said, we have no material possessions and we are very dear to those, similarly those who have no possessions. Therefore, the wealthy people, they hardly worship me. Now, Rukmini is trying to say that you are indeed miskinchana. The word kinchana means something, and miskinchana means it appears, indicates negation. Thus, in the worldly sense, niskinchana means one who does not have anything, or in other words, one who has nothing. Now, both in the present verse, that is 37, the Queen Rukmini states that Lord Krishna possesses nothing because he is a pauper, but because he himself is everything. In other words, since Krishna is the absolute truth, all that exists is within him. There is no second thing, there is nothing outside him. There is nothing outside the Lord's existence. For him, he possesses. For example, a man may possess a house or a car or a child or money, but these things do not become the man. They exist outside him. We say he possesses them merely in the sense that he has control over them. But the Lord does not merely control his creation. His creation actually exists within himself. Thus, there is nothing outside him that he can possess in the way that we possess external objects. It is that different. And the various acharyas, they also say that to state that a person possesses something implies that he does not possess anything. In other words, if we say that a man owns some property, we imply that he does not own that property, but rather some specific property. Like the acharyas, they described. And Srila Prabhupada, he also says that the conception of God and the conception of the absolute truth are not on the same level. Srimad Bhagavatam hints on the target of absolute truth. The conception of God indicates that the controller is the controller, whereas the conception of the absolute truth indicates the summum bonum, or the ultimate source of all energies. Here, Prabhupada touches upon the fundamental philosophical point that God is defined by the Supreme as the Supreme Being, and the Supreme means the highest rank, the highest power, the highest authority, the highest in quality, highest in achievement, highest performance, highest degree, and finally ultimate. And none of these definitions adequately indicates absolute existence. Then Here, what we saw, Lord Krishna is not merely a supreme being. He is the absolute being, and that is exactly the point his wife is trying to tell him. Thus, the word Niskinchana indicates not that Krishna possesses no opulence, but rather all opulence. That is, in a sense, she accepts his definition of himself as Niskinchana. With all these words, as we saw, Rukmini Devi is bringing out another meaning, a second meaning to what Krishna had earlier said. Then we go to text 38. 38, her choice reflects an understanding of real value as the greatest beings who worship Krishna. Now we'll explain this. Rukmini Devi is trying to say that you are the embodiment of all human goals and you are the final aim of life, and desiring to attain you, all powerful Lord, intelligent persons, they abandon everything else. And it is they who are worthy of your association, not men and women absorbed in the pleasure and grief resulting from their mutual lust. Now here Rukmini Devi is replying to Krishna's statement given in text 15. Now, she is trying to say that marriage and friendship are proper between what Krishna was telling, marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of their wealth, birth, influence, appearance, like this. In fact, only those who have given up all such material conceptions of sense gratification and have taken exclusively to loving the Lord's service can understand their real friendship with Him. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is trying to say that the Rukmini Devi is saying, you have said that the one should marry only a person of equal wealth, but that is possible for others, but not for you. This is what she says. Then in verses 37 to 39, she challenges the notion of marrying only equal, stating that Krishna is the goal of all endeavors. He is the goal of everybody else. In 39 is trying to say their relationship is based on devotion, not mundane standards of equality. We'll go through this slide. Now, Rukmini redefines the notion of being praised by beggars by claiming they are enlightened sages. Now, here what is happening, knowing that great sages who have renounced the everything, they proclaim your glories, that you are the supreme soul, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, you are the supreme in the all the worlds, and that you are so gracious that you give away even your own self. And therefore I choose you as my husband, rejecting Lord Brahma and Shiva and the rulers of heaven. And those aspirations are all frustrated by the force of time, which is born from your eyebrows. What interest then could I have in any other suitors? That is, whether it is Brahma or Shiva or Indra or anybody, they have got a definite time period after which they will not exist in this material world. But the Lord exists all the time. There is no end time for him. Now, here in this verse 39, Rukmini Devi is refuting Krishna's statement given in text 16. Here, Rukmini is trying to say that I am glorified by beggars. But when Rukmini points out that those so called beggars are actually sages, they are sannyasis who have reached the highest level of spiritual advancement, and thus they have given up the sannyasi rod. Now, Lord Krishna also made two specific accusations against Rukmini in verse 16. He said, my dear Vaidharvi, you are not aware of the situation because you lack foresight. Now, in the present verse 39, Rukmini is trying to say that I chose you as my husband because you possess all the qualities, and it was not a blind choice at all. And Rukmini further mentions that she passed over lesser personalities like Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, because materially speaking, they are great personalities, but they are frustrated by the powerful waves of time because they are affected by the time factor of the Supreme Lord. And in the next, Rukmini is going to say that as a lion drives away lesser animals to claim his proper tribute, you drove away the assembled kings with your saranga bow, and you kidnapped me. And in 41 and 42, these verses, what is happening, praising Krishna bring auspiciousness and signifies his true nature. She defends her choice by asserting wisdom in selecting Krishna over others. Now, Rukmini Devi is trying to say that wanting your association, the best of kings, Anga, Vinaya, Jayanta, Nausa, Gaya, and others, they abandoned their absolute sovereignty and entered the forest to seek you out. Now, here Rukmini refutes the ideas put forth by Krishna in the previous verses that will not go. And the Rukmini is also trying to say in the next verse that the aroma of your lotus feet, they are glorified by the great saints because they award liberation, and that is the abode of goddess Lakshmi. What woman would take shelter of any other man after savoring that aroma? Now, since you are the abode of all transcendental qualities, what mortal woman with the insight to distinguish her own true interest would disregard that fragrance? She is trying to explain like this. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also in the same way he says that one becomes liberated simply by hearing or chanting your glories. And conversely, anyone who does not appreciate your topics, such a man-eater or the daughter of a witch, will take shelter of someone else and consequently always experience great fear. And in the verses 43 to 45, what Rukmini is trying to say, her insight into the glories affirms her decision as knowledgeable rather than foolish. And Rukmini criticizes the kings Krishna mentioned, calling them foolish and not recognizing Krishna's superiority. Now, here what is Rukmini is trying to say? Rukmini is trying to say that because you are suitable for me, I have chosen you because you are the master of the three worlds, you are the supreme soul, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, and you fulfill all the desires in this life and next life. And your lotus feet, they give freedom from illusion by approaching their worshipper and give shelter to me also, who has been wandering from one material situation to another. Now here, Rukmini is trying to say that I have been bewildered by hearing from various religious scriptures about numerous rituals and ceremonies with their the rituals and ceremonies with their promises for fruitive results. And Sridhar Swami gives the explanation that while Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur give an additional idea that Rukmini might express with her words, my dear Krishna, I was bewildered by hearing about your various incarnations. I heard that when you descended as Rama, you abandoned your wife Sita, and that in this life you abandoned the gopis. Thus I was bewildered. Now it is understood that Rukmini Devi is the eternally liberated consort of Lord Krishna. But in these verses, she humbly plays the part of a mortal woman taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, she also says that let each of the kings you named become the husband of a woman whose ears have never heard your glories, which are sung in the assemblies of Shiva and Brahma. After all, in the households of such women, these kings live like the dogs, cats, and slaves. And according to Sridhar Swami's explanation, she is trying to say that Krishna's, she is opposing Krishna's opening statement in verse 10. She is saying that where she said, Krishna said that you are sought after by many kings as powerful as the rulers of planets, and they are all abundantly endowed with political influence, wealth, beauty, generosity, physical strength, and like this. And now Sridhar Swami says that Rukmini here speaks with anger, pointing her index finger at the Lord. She compares the so-called great princess to the dogs, cats, and asses because they carry many material burdens like all these animals. And Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur adds that such kings are like asses because their wives sometimes kick them like dogs because they behave inimically toward the outsiders in order to protect their homes like this. And Rukmini Devi also says that a woman who fails to relish the fragrance of the honey of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, they are totally befooled. And thus she is accepting her husband or lover as a living corpse covered with skin, whiskers, and nails. Like this, she comments on the verses already spoken by Krishna, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further comments that Rukmini, thus considering that although the sweetness of Krishna's lotus feet is well known, and although he possesses an eternal body full of knowledge and bliss, foolish women reject him, and ordinary people reject him, which is not correct. Then we go to verse 46. Here, her rejection of worldly attachments highlights her devotion to Krishna. Now, here in 46, what is given is saying, Rukmini Devi is trying to say that though you are satisfied with yourself and thus rarely turn your attention to anybody else, even toward me, please bless me with steady love at your lotus feet. And it is when you assume a predominance of passion in order to manifest the universe that you glance upon me, showing me what is indeed your greatest mercy. Now, this is in reference to what Krishna had said in verse 20 earlier. We said that Krishna had said that always satisfied within ourselves, we are nothing for wives, children, and wealth. Now, in this regard, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that Krishna has already declared his love for Rukmini so much that he says, I cannot sleep at night. And Lord Krishna is satisfied with himself. And if we remember that Rukmini Devi is his internal potency, we can understand that his loving affairs with her are expressions of his pure spiritual happiness. He is spiritually very, very happy to be with Rukmini. However, Rukmini humbly identifies herself with the Lord's external energy, which is her expansion. Therefore, she says, though you do not often look at me when you are ready to manifest the material universes and thus begin to work through the material quality of passion, which is your potency. You glance at me like this. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tries to say that Rukmini's statement can be understood in two ways. And of course, the Vaishnavas, after thoroughly understanding the philosophy of Krishna from bona fide acharyas, simply relish this loving affairs between the Lord and his exalted devotees. And in the next verse also, Rukmini Devi tried to say that I don't consider your words false because whatever you say, they are true. Then we go to the next slide. Okay. Krishna is saying, thus I do not consider your statements that I should marry a person of similar qualities to be false. After all, in this world, sometimes a woman becomes attracted to some man before marriage. For example, the three daughters of the Kasi, king of Kasi, Ambalika, that you know, given in Mahabharata, and Amba became attracted to Salva. Now, Rukmini is trying to say that you are teaching other men about ordinary female psychology by using me as an example, since I am a woman. Even married women who desire newer and newer lovers, an intelligent man will not marry such a person, for he will suffer in this life and the next life also. And when you are omniscient, would have rejected me already if you have known me like this. These are given in the verses 47 and 48. Here, rejecting material attachments, Rukmini redefines the notion of being praised by beggars by claiming they are enlightened sages, that we spoke of it in great detail. I am not covering. Praising Krishna bring auspiciousness and significance, signifies his true nature. Krishna brings in auspiciousness always. Anybody who is associated with Krishna, he is or she is in a very auspicious position. That's why one should not at all think about it. And divine indifference and desire, she defends her choice by asserting her wisdom and selecting Krishna over other men. These reasons we came to know. And next, her insight into his glories affirm her decision as knowledgeable rather than foolish. She is not foolish. She has not foolishly accepted Krishna as her husband because she is knowledgeable. She knows who Krishna is, what are his qualities, and how great he is. And the other jivas, the material persons, the kings, they are in no comparison to him. And understanding female psychology, she acknowledges that Krishna's attachment reflects an understanding of human nature, and this indicates her belief that true love and loyalty are directed solely towards Krishna. This is very, very important. True knowledge, true love, true loyalty, they should always be directed to Krishna and nobody else. Then we go to the next slide. Transcendental versus mundane values. Rukmini's arguments highlight that true worth lies in spiritual connection rather than material criteria. Krishna was trying to give an impression that he was giving examples of material things only. But Rukmini had understood the spiritual connection. That's why all these material regions, they were not of any importance to her. That's why she accepted Krishna and she is defending it. And devotion as ultimate goal, her justifications emphasize that devotion to Krishna transcends all material considerations, leading to spiritual fulfillment. That means one should be devoted to Krishna in loving devotional service. And nature of relationships, Rukmini's insight suggests that relationships uprooted in divine love and service are superior to those based on social or material equality. Anything which is material, that is inferior to what is transcendental or spiritual. And understanding divine nature, there are 4 points. Rukmini's counter arguments reflect a profound comprehension of Krishna's divine qualities. She had understood Krishna's divine qualities. Krishna was giving one meaning, but the actual meaning was given by Rukmini, as we saw in the various verses. And she acknowledges Krishna's indifference, but still expresses her desire for his affection. Though Krishna seems to be indifferent to everybody, still he loves everybody and everybody is dear to him. and her longing reveals the depth of her devotion, which transcends its apparent indifference. She is the greatest devotee. That's why she recognized this thing. And Rukmini's understanding of Krishna's divinity is truly enlightening, illustrating how love and devotion can transform one's understanding of reality. Why she was able to understand all these things? Because she was devoted to him and she loved him. This is what is to be learned. So we learn till verse 48, and after the break, we'll start from 49 onwards. Now there is a 3-minute break. You can ask any question if you have, or any comments if you have. Hare Krishna. Any comments? As we already know that Krishna always speaks in double meaning words and sentences. He meant something, but Rukmini gave the meanings as something else, which are actually proper. Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
You see, this reminds me, Krishna is always like that, Remember that Ashwatthama's case?
Yes.
When Ashwatthama was brought in, because he killed 5 sons of Draupadi. So Draupadi, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhim, all these had these different opinions. And Arjuna was in a dilemma what to do, whether to kill him or not, So that time Krishna also said deliberately something opposite to what he himself wanted him to be done, okay? So that is typical Krishna Parokshavadi, and is only through devotion you know exactly what Krishna wants you to exactly do that. So only through bhakti, then you would know what Krishna really desires. He may be saying exactly 180-degree opposite to what he actually really wants you to do, So that is what Krishna's nature. In so many other examples, see, this is what I'm telling you. In 10th canto, you really get to know Krishna's very nature, how he is, what he thinks, and all these things. You really understand him, his real nature. The whole entire 10th canto is all about that. If you really study it with your heart in it, you get to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know what Bhagavan is all about. Hare Krishna.
वेरी ट्रू प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, रुक्मणी जी का जो डीप रियलाइजेशन इज सो अमेजिंग, पूरा कन्वर्ट कर दिया सब, सारे जो भी स्टेटमेंट थे उनको कितना अच्छे से बताया है। और हमारे आचार्य ने
Krishna deliberately said something opposite,
यस प्रभु जी। मतलब प्रभु जी हम थोड़ा कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि जो भी, मतलब अभी भी हम लोग तो शुरुआत करते हैं, मगर जो भी भक्तों की लाइफ में जो भी डिफिकल्टीज आती है वो भी हमें कितना सिखाती है कि भगवान इतनी परीक्षा लेने वाले हैं कि पूछो मत।
Yeah, advanced Bhagavatam is nothing, is for a reason why it's advanced Bhagavatam.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at how many lessons we are doing this thing. इतना detail में hardly you will see like this, what we are studying now.
ये हमें
Because that is
बार
what
बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा प्रभु जी, इतना।
I find it really amazing because I'm preparing the PowerPoints. So obviously you can imagine how deeply I must be studying, And more I study, more and more I get to know the very nature of Shri Krishna. I really fell automatically in great love with him, And he is providing me all these directions.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Very true.
Then we'll proceed. Before we discuss the slide, I'll just tell you in brief what transpired thereafter between Rukmini and Krishna. Now, Rukmini had been answering Krishna's various statements which he had given earlier. And now, hearing all this, Krishna says that I deceived you only because I wanted to hear you speak like this. And whatever you have said is very, very correct. And it is most true. And whatever benediction you hope for this in order to become free from material desires are ever yours. And he said that I have not seen firsthand the pure love and chaste attachment you have for your husband. Even though shaken by my words, your mind could not be pulled away from me. All these things Krishna realized and he gave. And on these, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to say that when affectionate bond between a young man and a young woman can never be destroyed, and even when there is every cause for the destruction of that relationship, the attachment between them is said to be pure love. And this is the nature of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and his pure conjugal associates, that is, the gopis, the queens of Dwarka, like this. And then Krishna, what he said, although I have the power to award spiritual liberation, lusty persons, they worship me in penance and vows to order to get my blessings for their mundane family life. And such persons are bewildered by my illusory energy, that is Maya. Now, this is very important. We should remember these things. And okay. The next, Krishna is trying to tell Rukmini that you have always rendered me faithful devotional service, which liberates one from material existence. And this service is very, very difficult for the envious persons to perform, especially for a woman whose intentions are wicked, who lives only to gratify her bodily demands, and who indulges in duplicity. And on this verse, Jiva Goswami, and he poses a question. He says, since devotional service is easily awards one liberation, isn't it possible that everyone will be liberated and the world will no longer exist? Now, he answers that there is no such danger, since it is very difficult for envious, duplicitous, sensuous persons to faithfully serve the Supreme Lord, and there is no shortage of such people in the world, and especially in Kali Yuga. Then Krishna trying to say that in all my palaces I can find no other wife as loving as you, he is telling Rukmini. And he said, when you were to be married, you disregarded all the kings who had assembled there to seek your hand. And when your brother, who had been defeated in the battle with me, and I disfigured him, and was later killed during the gambling match on Aniruddha's wedding day. That will come up later in the next lesson. He says, you felt unbearable grief, but yet out of fear of losing me, you did not speak a single word also, and by this silence you have conquered me. Krishna was totally satisfied with all the words of Rukmini Devi. And here Krishna refers to all the things we have seen. Now we will discuss certain things in the next class, not this regarding the death of Rukmini and all that. Now, then also Krishna is trying to tell Rukmini that when you sent the messenger with your most confidential person, that is the Brahmana, yet I delayed going there. Yet you began to see the world as void and wanted to quit your body. All these things Krishna knew it, and he is realizing one by one in all these verses. And to this Sukadeva Goswami said that the all satisfied, self-satisfied Supreme Lord of the universe enjoyed with the goddess of fortune, engaging her in lover's talk and thus imitating the wage of normal mundane human society, and these things happen, then we'll see. Yes. These verses explore the intimate and playful relationship between Krishna and Rukmini, highlighting several key thematic elements and philosophical insights that resonate deeply within the context of bhakti, devotional service, rather loving devotional service, and the nature of divine relationships. The first point is divine, playful, and human emotion. Krishna engages in playful banter with Rukmini, imitating human societal interactions. And this divine playfulness, often referred to as Leela, is a key aspect of Krishna's nature. And why he does this? Not only for his own pleasure, but for us to learn. We learn from these things better, because we cannot understand the Vedic text. Vedas we cannot understand. And all this Vedic literature, this is summarized in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this, especially in this 10th canto, all these Leelas are given. These are for us only. It is not mere mimicry, but a profound expression of his ability to relate to human relations and relationships. We understand in terms of emotions and relationships, and he is also trying to make us understand in these terms. And this highlights the idea that heavenly beings can embody human emotions and relationships, making them relatable. And Krishna's playful nature serves to deepen the connection with Rukmini, emphasizing that divine love is both profound and accessible. Then the next point, unalloyed devotional service, that is bhakti. Krishna acknowledges Rukmini's unwavering devotion, which remains intact despite his seemingly teasing words. And this illustrates the concept of unalloyed love, ekanta bhaktya, suggesting that true devotion transcends trials and tribulations. Rukmini's love is portrayed as pure and selfless, free from material desires, thereby embodying the idea of bhakti that is focused solely on divine service. This is very, very important. We have to understand. And the next, we go the material versus spiritual fulfillment. Krishna contrasts the desires of materialistic devotees who seek mundane pleasures and happiness through relationships with the pure devotion exemplified by Rukmini. As we saw the various arguments, explanations given by Rukmini, they were much different than what Krishna was giving. Krishna was giving in material terms, and Rukmini was giving in spiritual terms. And he criticizes those who worship for personal gain, suggesting that such motivations lead to denigration and suffering. Anything material we get from the Lord, suppose we worship the Lord and he becomes happy and we ask for any material thing, actually they are most denigrating and we will suffer for that. And if we ask nothing but him only, suppose the Lord asks, what do you want? If you say, I want you only, that is the highest thing. And that's what Rukmini was asking from the Lord. And this thing emphasizes that true fulfillment comes from spiritual devotion rather than material attachments. Then the nature of love. The passage represents a philosophical reflection of the nature of love, prema, arguing that genuine love cannot be destroyed even in adverse conditions. Rukmini's love for Krishna was genuine. That's why no matter how hard Krishna tried to break her will, he could not. And Rukmini was steadfast. And Krishna's acknowledgement of Rukmini's love as indestructible reinforces the idea that divine love is eternal and transcendent. It is eternal, it never ends, and this serves to elevate the nature of divine relationship above mundane perspective of love. What we understand in the material world, that is not the correct understanding, because the love for the Supreme Lord is permanent. It does not go away at any point of time. And the role of suffering, Rukmini expressed sorrow during the delay of the messenger reflects the depth of her emotions and her commitment. When the Brahmana was sent and no information was coming from the Brahmana till the end, she was immersed in a lot of sorrow because of her emotions and commitment to Krishna. And he recognizes her pain and rejoices in it, not because he enjoys her suffering, but because it is a testament to the depth of her love and devotion. And this complexity highlights that genuine devotion often entails emotional trials and a profound connection to the divine. And that means whatever difficulties we face in our devotional service, we should endure them. Transcendental happiness versus mundane existence. Krishna's interactions illustrate the stark contrast between the divine bliss experienced in transcendental relationship and the transient nature of material happiness. Material happiness is transitory in nature. It will go away after some time. But transcendental happiness, it can never go. And by engaging in human-like behavior, Krishna simultaneously critiques and transcends the mundane, demonstrating that while he partakes in worldly duties, his divine nature remains superior and untainted. Inclusivity in liberation. Krishna's comments about liberation through devotion suggest that while he recognizes the potential of all souls to attain spiritual freedom. He also delineates the distinction between genuine bhakti and mere external practices. This we have to understand. At this stage of just beginning, we should not think that we have become great devotees and we will be able to get what Rukmini was getting. No, we are not in that stage. We have to we have to know that he rewards proportionately to what is our condition, what is our state. And he stresses that envious or duplicitous intentions cannot lead to genuine devotion, underscoring the importance of sincerity and spiritual pursuits. We should be very, very sincere in our pursuits. And in conclusion, the passage encapsulates the dynamics of divine love, the importance of pure devotion, pure devotional service, and philosophical inquiries into the nature and happiness of relationships. It serves as a rich commentary on how the sacred can intertwine with human experience, providing insight into the nature of true love and the paths toward the spiritual fulfillment, like how Rukmini Devi she understood everything and he put forward everything to Krishna, and Krishna recognized her greatness and he praised her. And next, instructive questions and their answers learning. What specific qualities of Krishna led Rukmini to believe he is the true wealth beyond material riches? We have already seen this in the slide. Rukmini recognizes Krishna's true wealth through his remarkable divine attributes, including profound compassion. He was compassionate to Rukmini Devi under all circumstances. Unparalleled wisdom. He knows past, present, and future. He knows what we are going to think also. And a powerful ability to uplift and protect his devotees. Nobody else can protect the devotees like Krishna. Even the demigods, they cannot protect like Krishna. And these qualities resonate deeply with her understanding that true fulfillment springs from a spiritual connection rather than transient material possessions. Material possessions are transient in nature, but spiritual connection is eternal in nature. Then question number 2, how does Rukmini's understanding of divine indifference influence her approach to her devotion? Rukmini's acceptance of Krishna's divine indifference depends her devotion, strengthening her conviction that true love is inherently selfless and does not rely on reciprocation. this perspective empowers her to sustain a profound longing for Krishna's affection. Like a devotee is loving Krishna, he wants Krishna, but he is not getting any reciprocation for Krishna. Like here, we should learn from Rukmini Devi that one should not lose his or her heart, because ultimately the Lord will come and prove that, allowing her devotion to transform into path of spiritual fulfillment that transcends mere emotional needs. Our devotion to the Lord should not be only emotion only. It should be much more than that. There should be a great longing, intense longing for the Lord, and the Lord will come running only. And in question 3, in what ways do Rukmini's insights about relationship challenge contemporary views on love and material equality? Rukmini's profound insights challenge contemporary perspectives on love and marital equality by asserting that authentic relationships are grounded in spiritual devotion and an intimate connection to the divine. This is important rather than understanding that the marital relationship depends on material relationship, material things. So this is not the correct understanding. Correct understanding that both the husband and wife, they are connected to the Supreme Lord, and through him they are united, and they should keep the Lord in the center, worship him, serve him, and then everything will be all right. And she illustrated that qualities such as unwavering devotion and shared spiritual aspirations can transcend conventional notions of equality, suggesting that relationships anchored in divine love can offer a deeper, more meaningful experience than those defined solely by social or material standards. And this is what was proved by Rukmini Devi. In the next slide, and certain questions and their answers. What specific ways does Krishna's playful nature manifest in her? I think have we seen this? Rukmini recognizes. No, no. Uh, what specific ways does Krishna's playful nature manifest in his interactions with Rukmini, and how do these moments enhance their relationship? Krishna's playful nature is not just about witty manner or light teasing. It was not just mundane joking as we find in the material world. It is about engaging in romantic dialogue that mirrors human relationships. And these interactions create a unique sense of intimacy and comfort, making Rukmini feel truly understanding and understood and cherished. And this divine play not only underscores Krishna's reliability, but also depends the love between them, showing that divine love can express itself in ways that resonate with human emotions. That means the Krishna is the most reliable individual we can ever find, and he tells us in the language we understand. We understand in the material terms, and he will do in such a way, he will play his Leela in such a way that we'll be able to understand. But we have to reach that level also. And question number 2, how can modern devotees apply the principles of pure devotion and transcendental happiness in their own spiritual practices amidst a materialistic society? Like we are staying in the materialistic society, and in day to day we are seeing materialistic problems. We are facing materialistic problems and many issues, and how we can be benefited from this talk between Krishna and Rukmini. This is the question. Now the answer is, for modern devotees, the principles of pure devotion can be applied in practical ways. And by focusing on selfless service, selfless service means one should not expect anything from the Lord, one should not ask anything from the Lord other than spiritual, and detachment from their fruits of their actions. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. What we have learned in the Bhagavad Gita, we should do our duty, we should do our service to the Lord and expect no fruit. It is up to him to give fruit or not. That is his responsibility, his problem, not ours. They can understand that true fulfillment comes from spiritual connection rather than material gain. Engaging in community service. Community service means all devotees should together get together, have association of each other, and should not have any enmity or difference of opinion as far as transcendental service to the Lord is concerned. Or meditation can help reinforce these principles, cultivating an attitude of gratitude and love in daily life. We should be grateful to each and everybody, because if you think deeply, you will realize that each and everybody who is associated with us has done something good to others. And this is very, very important in life. And if we do this, this gratitude and love in daily life can also help individuals to navigate the challenges of a materialistic society while remaining anchored in their spiritual beliefs. We may stay in the material world, but if we have all these spiritual beliefs, spiritual ideas, spiritual practices, and have association of the devotees, then everything will be all right. Then the question number 3, what additional insights can be drawn from Rukmini's emotional trials and the role of suffering in understanding the depth of divine love? Like as we saw, Rukmini was suffering only. It seemed that she was suffering, but actually she was not suffering. Let us see the answer. Rukmini's emotional trials are not just about the challenges of genuine devotion. They also suggest that suffering can lead to deeper spiritual insights and more profound connection with the divine. Like the example of Srimati Radharani and all the gopis when Krishna left Braja and he did not come back for 100 years. That time what happened? They were under intense grief. But what they got, they liked that condition. They were, it was seemingly they were suffering, but they were not suffering at all. They were relishing that relationship. At some point of time, they did not want Krishna to come because that condition was better than when Krishna was there. And by acknowledging and embracing her sorrow, devotees can understand the challenges, can serve as a catalyst for growth in their relationship with Lord, with God. And this awareness encourages them to approach their own struggles with a sense of purpose and deeper commitment to their spiritual journey. We should be very, very committed to what we are doing in the spiritual path of devotional service, reinforcing the indestructible nature of true love. Rukmini Devi has proved what true love is, and we should learn from that. And with this, I finish today's lesson. Now the session is open for question and answers and comments of the devotees. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you Prabhuji for so wonderful class. Prabhuji, so important and meaningful questions and answers. We have to learn so many things from them.
Yes. Yes, yes, and especially
प्रैक्टिकल मतलब हम प्रैक्टिकली धीरे धीरे अप्लाई कर सके तो बहुत अच्छी बात है लाइफ में. We have to start.
very important in Bhagavad Gita, what is given, Tapteno Kampan, Somikshamana. That means whatever comes, whatever troubles come, we should accept them as the Lord's gift. And at best, we can take them to be our prarabdha and accept them. Then the Lord will award us at the appropriate time. we should not be too impatient. Why the Lord is not showing compassion to us? Why He is not fulfilling my the wish and all that? That will come in its own time. We should not ask anything. We should not expect anything. But that's all. And then everything will be all right. This we have to understand from all the talks between Rukmini Devi and Lord Krishna. And that's what is the teaching for all of us.
यस प्रभु जी, यहाँ पे हम एक भागवतम का श्लोक कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, सवे पुंसा परो धर्मो ये तो भक्तिया दोषते अहेतुकी अप्रतिहता या आत्मा सुप्रतिहते.
Yes, yes. It has to be
Okay.
uninterrupted. If
For
we
selfless.
think we can do devotional service for just one day or a few days or a few years, then stop it. It is not the thing. We should do it without interruption. Apratiyata. Then at least someday the Lord will be satisfied. Any other comment or question? Was it a heavy dose? I don't think, but the essence is very clear.
Prabhu, the topmost position is crying in separation.
Yes, that's what the gopis they liked. And that's what Krishna wanted to give them. Actually, Krishna never left Vrindavana. He was there only. But as we have learned, they saw him, that is the Krishna associated with them every time. And he disappeared also. That means the gopis, they never felt any difference.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Wonderful class. This also reminds of the, I think you also covered, and like the Swarasky meditation, right? That's what.
Yes, Saraswati meditation. That is
Okay,
very correct.
Swarsiki meditation.
Saraswati meditation.
Yeah, I think
What
that's
it is?
really.
Can you explain what it is?
That is like we are not in physical view or presence of the person, in this case Krishna, but we fully engage and empower in a mind in such a way that we are thinking and contemplating and always meditating, that as if the person is really there, and we interact with that. Like with Lord, then the interaction become very nice. That.
Simple words.
प्रभु जी पास्ट टाइम को रिमेम्बर करना,
Yes,
भगवान की
exactly.
लीलाओं का स्मरण करना.
That's exactly what I was trying to tell you. That simple word, just whatever we are studying today, and all these days, all these years, you simply meditate on these pastimes, and then Krishna will definitely appear in our heart. Within our very swabhava, he will come. We don't need to see him face to face. He is there in our heart. We just to internalize. And now with 10th canto, such deep study, his very nature. That is Swarsiki meditation. Then by his potency, he promises that he will be there with us all the time. He is never separated from us.
Yes.
प्रभु जी जो 10 सब्जेक्ट मैटर है श्रीमद् भागवतम के, उनमें से 9 इज इक्वल टू 1, 9 इज इक्वल टू 1, मतलब जो 1 है वो आश्रय तत्व, तो 10th कैंटो इज आश्रय तत्व. तो ये मतलब हम समझ सकते कि एवरी लेसन में भगवान का आश्रय लेना, वो ही समझाते रहते हैं ना.
See, that's what Bhagavatam, actually nothing is unknown, everything is released. He has not kept any secret.
Yes, प्रभु जी.
His very nature is coming out in this 10th canto.
Actually, the Lord is not away. if we call the Supreme Lord, he is not in Dwarka or Vrindavana or in the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavana. He is everywhere. He will appear and disappear. As per our qualification, of course.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati, you know.
Yes.
He reveals himself. Don't make any extra efforts. So this is the point. Such a deep study. We get to know him. कितने भाग्यशाली हम लोग हैं सब. In this very lifetime, we are getting to know him. He is appearing within our mindset. इतना देखो सब अपने भाग्य की देखो कितने great lucky fortunate we are here now.
Very true, Prabhu.
How many people in this world they don't know what they are missing.
Yes,
मैं तो
Prabhuji.
अपने आप को बहुत भाग्यशाली मानता हूँ कि इतनी डीप स्टडी करने के लिए मुझे मिला है. You know?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are so blessed.
Yes,
We
yes.
are also blessed कि हम अपने आपके अंडर में हम गाइडेंस में है. तो शरद प्रभु जी और आपके अंडर में है. We are really क्योंकि हम कोई इतना क्वालिफाइड नहीं है प्रभु जी.
नहीं
हम
रक्षा
तो लायक ही नहीं है इतने.
we are just fellow devotees, you know.
मगर फिर भी प्रभु
देखो
जी
कितने
आपका
अच्छे
जो
शरद प्रभु जी ने कितने अच्छी तरह समझाया हमें. इतना deep
Yes.
subject. He made us understood so nicely. Thank you, Sharad
Yes,
Prabhuji.
प्रभु जी.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Now, you see, we have not physically met, almost none of us. But
Yeah, we know each other now so well.
Because हमारे goal is one, ना प्रभु जी. That's why we have too much bonding.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, guys.
So today,
Prabhuji, once Prabhuji, we should meet in Jagannath
Well,
Puri, all of
it's
us together.
Krishna's desire.
yes.
If we have
Once in
desire, Krishna
lifetime.
will fulfill it. Krishna will fulfill it.
Yes, yes.
हमेशा स्पिरिचुअल डिजायर रखनी चाहिए बहुत अच्छी सी. वो फुलफिल होती ही है. मटेरियल डिजायर मत रखो मगर स्पिरिचुअल डिजायर तो रखनी चाहिए, है ना प्रभु जी.
And very good
So,
thing.
Prabhuji, there is a very short trip we are organizing. Only my Guru Maharaj and some devotees from Japan. This is in December.
Okay.
I will share the dates. The tour starts from Jagannath Puri, then goes to Varanasi, and then goes to Rishikesh. It's a 10-day tour.
If my visa
Prabhu ji,
comes
very
through,
good. So wonderful.
I'm applying for my visa. So my visa comes through. I do have a plan to come there during December, you know. So keep us informed, Sanji Prabhuji.
I will share that so you can plan accordingly
Yeah.
on those dates.
Okay.
You
If
can
all
join
Krishna-
midway and full yatra, half yatra, that's up to you. So,
It will be very nice, probably, if you come.
My last visit was 2016. It's been that many years now. Almost 10 years.
So
But we are
long
making-
years પ્રભુ જી. બહુ લાંબા વર્ષોથી આવ્યા નથી.
Yeah, so whatever Krishna desires, that will happen, you know.
And
Prabhuji, what happened to your trip? You were going to the Vraja, no, today, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it got cancelled because the person with whom I was going, the Dr. Shroff, his wife suddenly became ill, you know. So I'm seeing him tomorrow, but the bridge had to be cancelled, you know. See, everything depends upon Krishna's desire. We have a desire, but Krishna sees past, present, future, everything, right? So I'm, you know, whatever he does, just be happy, you know. There's a reason for that.
Yes, Prabhuji.
all these great thoughts, they are coming to us in a very auspicious day Today is Ekadasi, and as you know, out of all the Ekadasis, 3 Ekadasis are very, very important, most important. One is today's Ekadasi, that is the Devasayani Ekadasi. Then the second is Utthana Ekadasi. Then the third is what we call
Nirjala.
hmm?
Nirjala
भीम
Ekadashi.
एकादशी.
Nirjala.
There's
Yes.
a Bhim
भीम
Ekadasi. Bhim
एकादशी.
Ekadasi.
हाँ, yes प्रभु.
Yes.
There's a Bhim
These
Ekadasi.
are, and
પ્રભુ
today.
તમે ભીમ એકાદશી ના રેમુણામાં હતા.
Yeah. Yes,
ખીર
you
ચોક.
were there that day.
Yes પ્રભુજી.
And today Lord Vishnu will go to sleep for 4 months.
Oh boy.
Oh.
It's a Lord never sleeps.
अभी देवशैनी
Even
नाम
if as per
एकादशी का
Yoga Nidra,
देवशैनी.
even he may be sleeping, but he is fully aware of everything.
Rather, he sleeps all the time.
Okay.
क्योंकि प्रभु तो
Any
ये
other?
4 महीने में सब डेमिगॉड्स को कारभार सौंप देते हैं ना प्रभु भगवान.
उनका वर्शिप वगैरह
प्रभु जी
then
देवशैनी नाम पड़ा एकादशी का.
auspicious things like marriage ceremonies, thread ceremonies like this, they don't take place in these 4 months. But the region is different. But we are understanding it this way. What used to happen earlier times in this rainy season of 4 months, there used to be no bridges. Communication was very, very difficult. That's why the sadhus, they used to stay wherever they are for these 4 months. Like the one Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to the South India. He also stayed there in the house of Venkat Vatta for 4 months.
Okay, Prabhuji, I think there are no more questions. We still have 20 minutes.
Yes,
If there are no more
Prabhuji,
questions, Prabhuji, we
may I
can,
sing one
I'd like to hear
अभंगा
from, huh?
अभंग अभंग सुना सकती हूँ प्रभु जी आज तुकाराम जी का.
हाँ आप सुनाइए.
हाँ प्रभु जी, छोटा सा ही है. As today is आषाढ़ी एकादशी also, so पंढरपुर में आज वारकरी समाज का बहुत ही बड़ा फेस्टिवल है उधर पंढरपुर में प्रभु जी.
बहुत बड़ा means people not in thousands, in
हाँ,
lakhs.
lakhs of people. Yes प्रभु जी.
20-30 lakh people they come.
Yes प्रभु जी.
सुनाइए
ये
सुनाइए.
तुकाराम जी का अभंग है. I try my level best to sing. हरे कृष्णा. जाऊ देवाची या गावा ठेवू तेथेची विसावा तेथेची विसावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा देवा सांगू सुख दुःख देव निवारेल भूक देव निवारेल भूक जाऊ देवाची गावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा घालू देवाचीच भार देव सुखाचा सागर देव सुखाचा सागर राहो जवडी देवापाशी आता जडोनी पायाशी आता जडोनी पायाशी जाऊ देवाची गावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा तेथेची विसावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा तुका म्हणे आम्ही बाळे या देवाचे लढीवाडे या देवाचे लढीवाडे जाऊ देवाची गावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा तेथेची विसावा घेऊ तेथेची विसावा. हरे कृष्णा. यहाँ पे तुकाराम कह रहे हैं कि हम भगवान के गांव जा रहे हैं, वहीं पे हम अपना शरण लेंगे. जो भी आपका सुख दुख है भगवान को बोलो. भगवान हमारे सारे सुख दुख को दूर करते हैं और हमें भगवान की जो राह दिखाते हैं वो ही राह पे हमें चलना चाहिए. बस सब भार जो हमारा जो भी भार है वो भगवान को दे दीजिए, वो ही सब अच्छा करेंगे. क्योंकि भगवान के हम बालक है, तुकाराम कहते हैं हम भगवान के बालक है, वो भगवान हमें संभाल लेंगे। ये ये अभंग का ये मतलब है प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, थैंक यू।
Thank you,
Wonderful,
Mataji, so much.
Mataji. Very wonderful.
So nice.
तुकाराम महाराज
Very
की जय हो।
beautiful, beautifully sung, Raksha Mataji. Thank you so much.
हरि
Thank
बोल
you,
माता जी,
Mataji.
दंडवत
Thank
प्रणाम।
you. Now we can end the today's class with the Nrsimha prayers.
प्रभु जी आप साक्षी गोपाल की स्टोरी कर दीजिए, प्रभु जी को अच्छा लगे।
I was about to
टाइम
tell
है
you,
तो
but I was about to tell him, but I thought he must be tired now.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वो बहुत ही मस्त है स्टोरी, प्रभु जी प्लीज।
Okay, I'll tell you after the class. Next class will also be short only.
Okay.
That is just a story only. I'll tell you in very great detail.
Okay.
ओके प्रभु जी, ओके प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Prabhu ji, for the wonderful
Thank you.
class.
So let's, who is going to do the Nrsimha prayer?
Yeah. Prabhu ji, I'll do. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All
Okay.
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad-lad-daine. Prahlad-lad-daine. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Shilakdanka Nakhalai. Shilatanka Nakhalai. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Mahi Narsimha हृदये नरसिंहा पाहि नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलितैरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवद्रीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरे नखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलितहिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवद्रीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 थैंक यू प्रभु
Thank
जी
you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bhai ji. Thank you, Shar Prabhu ji. Thank you. Thank you.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम
Thank
टू
you
ऑल।
very much.
थैंक यू
Thank you
सरस्वती।
so much. Wonderful program. Hare Krishna.
We'll meet next
you.
weekend.
Thank you, Prabhu.
यस प्रभु।
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Next weekend, day one is my class, and then some Mataji series of classes will start.
Oh, by the way, I loaded lesson 114 this morning only, so it is
Oh.
there on the site. Okay, so I'm not sending anyone now anymore.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you
So-
very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, ji. Hare Krishna, bhai ji.